The sirens were just distant echoes by the time I found him. My boy, 10 years old, curled in a ditch like someone had dropped him out of the world. His breathing was thin, his skin pale, mud streaking his hair, a dark line of dried blood snaking down his cheek. He looked at me like I was the last thing holding him to this earth. His lips parted. Barely sound. "It was her father," he rasped. He told me my blood was filthy. Then his eyes slid back and his body went limp. The whole scene froze. Even the wind stopped moving. I remember kneeling there, my hands shaking. Not because I was afraid, but because my control was breaking tiny fracture by tiny fracture. By the time the hospital took him in, my rage had cooled into something sharper. Something surgical. When I got home I called my brother. I didn't raise my voice. "Do you remember what Mom drilled into us?" He didn't speak for a while. Then he said, "Yeah, so did I. Truth first. Judgment second." The house didn't feel like home that night. It felt like a held breath. She was at the kitchen table. A mug in her hands, no steam, no sip taken. She looked up when she heard me come in. "They said he'll be all right," she whispered, voice shaking in exactly the way people practice in mirrors. I studied her. Every movement. Every word. The way her eyes flickered away when I asked, "Did your father stop by today?" Her pause was tiny, half a heartbeat, but I caught it. No. Why would he? And that was enough. Not to know exactly what happened, not yet, but to know she was in it. People only hesitate like that when they're scrolling through their list of lies trying to remember the last version they spoke aloud. Later, when she fell asleep, I watched her chest rise and fall. There's a strange stillness when love doesn't die in an explosion, just quietly suffocates over time. Not fury. Gravity. The next days didn't feel real. They felt pre-written. Every morning before work, I sat beside my son's hospital bed. Every night I went back again. I learned the beeps on those monitors like entries in a journal. Every pulse said he was still mine. At home I wore the mask. I cooked. I laughed. I let her sob against me while she pretended she felt guilt. Meanwhile I hunted. Phone logs. Bank transfers. Deleted texts from her father that were never truly erased. The pieces arranged themselves into an answer I would have called insane if someone else told me. This wasn't some drunken rage. It was deliberate. A purification. He was trying to erase a stain his daughter made. Me. My blood. The blood he said didn't belong in their line. I didn't sleep. I stared at our wedding photograph and counted how many lies sat beneath her smile. Then I ordered the test. Not on me. On my son. Just a swab. Just a code. Just a truth waiting to turn into numbers. 3 days later the envelope came. I opened it on the porch while rain clicked against the railing like a clock hand. One look was enough. He wasn't her father's grandson. He wasn't even her son. The document spelled it out plain. Probability of maternity, 0. My boy had been born from a donor. Her secret. Her scheme. Her gift to her father, better blood. Everything, the insult, the attack, the hatred, clicked into place. And it made me steal. That evening I walked inside and handed her the paper. She read it once. Then again slower. Like maybe the words would rearrange and save her. You tested him?" I didn't dignify her with words. She stared at me like she'd just seen the shape of her own execution. "I did it for us," she whispered. I smiled, a small practice thing. "No. You did it for him." I let the silence do the carving. When she finally shattered into begging, explanations, half-formed confessions disguised as apologies, I stepped away. "You do not get to speak his name again." I placed a suitcase in her hands. Clothes folded. Keys on top. "Your father's home is down the road. Go to him. Show him what his purity cost." She tried to resist, but she could see it in me. The line had been crossed and there is no re-entry. At the door she hesitated, maybe hoping for mercy. I gave her the only thing that still existed between us. The truth. Now the house is silent. My son sleeps down the hall, alive, breathing, safe. The paperwork is tucked away, unnecessary now. Real truth has its own sound, and it stays even when words are gone. Sometimes I stand at the window and stare at the road where I found him bleeding. I used to think betrayal was something people did. Now I understand, betrayal is a dialect. Learned young. Spoken softly. Mom was right. Truth first. Then judgment. And when judgment finally arrives, it doesn't shout. It whispers.